Hey Campus, George here, back in the freezing cold man cave. Just took some trash outside and didn't realize how cold it was. Yep, minus 12 this morning. Minnesota. Which reminds me, I'm not dressed. Hold on. We good. What I'm looking at this morning, these guys. Yep. Probably the most recognizable knife style. See that? The Barlow. Yep. Looking at my Barlows. Why? Well, I found another one. It's unusual. Let's check it out. So like I said, I was looking at my Barlows. I have a couple. I don't have a lot. And there's the opportunity to really collect a knife style that is just so common out there and so many made and so many variations. It's unreal. This is your pretty standard Barlow, right? It's about 3.5 inches long, big, solid bolster, typically about 1/3 of the length of the total blade closed. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Typical Barlow, about 3.5 inches long. 2 blades, typically clip blade and a pen blade. Nice handle, teardrop, solid knives. Great EDC knife, will do everything you ask of it. And there's a bunch of different ones. Quick look at some history on all about the Barlow and what happened, and then we'll have a look at what I've got and what I need to fix. So the first Barlow ever invented, allegedly, was by Obadiah Barlow back in 1670. Well, way back. And he made the Barlow, came up with the design and everything. Now, they do say that other people did it as well, but so everything goes to him, and there's a lot of arguments about that, but hey, I'm going with it. Now, he was in Sheffield, England, obviously, and he produced the Barlow, very popular, really did well. It had that, the big bolster, and I believe they were bone handles, and they had just a single blade on it. It was extremely popular. Later on, around 1745, they started to export knives to the US, Barlows, and I want to say it was either his son or grandson that did it, and they started to sell them there. They became really popular. Now, they say around 1875, a local USA company, John Russell, started to produce Barlow knives, and they did really well. Very popular, well made. If you see the Russell knives now, they have that arrow thing logo. It's pretty obvious when you see it. I think I'll find one. I'll put it up here for you. And they were credited with the first USA-made Barlows. And then later on, the more modern style, things changed. You got single blade, 2 blade, different blade styles. And then they came out with the Daddy, which was a bigger version of your standard Barlow, and typically was about 5 inches or longer than your traditional Barlow. Kind of like this. See that? So this is considered a Daddy. This one, shock and horror. Saber. Hong Kong for this one. Yeah, they did it all over. So that the Daddy came out and became really popular. It was really popular amongst the working class, like the farmers and blue-collar workers. Was big, strong, had that strong bolster. Now, here's something interesting. The original Barlow, the whole frame and the bolster was one piece, which made it really strong. And that's why it was so popular. It could take a lot of abuse. The new modern Barlows, if you look here, you can see that this is actually, it's a plate on top of there, and it doesn't really provide anything special. It's part of the outer spacer. You see that? So it's changed a little. However, the style, the teardrop, the bolster size, the blades, still do a good job and still a very popular pattern out there. It's about everybody made them. You had Queen was big on it, first out there, Camillus, Imperial. They all made them, and they were really popular for the longest time. Still today, people look at the Barlow. They've changed a little. People have modified them slightly. This is typically the Barlow when it first came out was basically that. Single blade clip. Okay. Then they made it a 2-blade with a pen. Okay. And then they started changing blade shapes. Here's a sheep's foot with a pen. Okay. Then they did even more than that. Look at this guy. Okay. Sheep's foot. Right? Nice solid knife. But look at the second blade. Electrician's tool. See that? Ha! You have an electrician's Barlow. This one is called the Electric Mate, and I want to say it was made by Colonial for Rick Knorr, I think, which was a distributor, hardware, electrical company distributor. But you can see it doesn't say Barlow there, it says Electric Mate on both sides. But it's a Barlow, right? So things evolved, and then of course you had the Daddy. And the Daddy, typically single blade, nice big huge clip on it, solid, look at that. Makes for a solid popular work knife. So there you go. But why was I looking at him? Well, because of this guy. Look at that. It's a Barlow, right? Why? Because it says Barlow on it, and they all do that, except of course that Electrician's Mate. There's always that one, right? Got a clip on it, pen blade on it, very nice. This one is actually made, and you can barely make it out on the tank stamp there. It's a Hammer brand, about 45 to 55 according to what I could see on the tank stamp. It's an old guy, pretty beat up, right? And it's a pretty traditional blade pattern on it, a typical Barlow. The handle, that's what we got to fix. We need to clean this whole thing up. I mean, it's really pitted, not going to be a lot we can do with these blades, carbon blades, and we need to fix this. I think I'm going to just take off the clamshells and replace the skin. But what's the big deal about this? Well, here's a standard Barlow. Yeah, about 3.5 inches, right? Look at this guy. It's tiny. It's way smaller. I didn't realize that, and I was looking at it, and I thought, what's wrong with this Barlow? Didn't realize it was that small. Look at that. It's shorter, just generally smaller. And I thought, that's cool. And you know what? It's a Hammer brand. I like Hammer brand. I think they did a good job. So we're going to fix this guy. Like I said, needs a good cleanup. Going to have to do what we can with the blades. They're pretty pitted. You know, it's an old guy. He's been lying around, but we can at least make him shiny and sharp and fix the handle. So let's have at it.
Okay, so here's this hammer. And as you can see, the cover is damaged. But it's your regular Barlow, except it's so small, which I've never seen, so I thought that was pretty cool. You can see pretty pitted. Somebody's cleaned this before, and obviously they were smart enough not to get rid of the pitting, because it would have made the blade just, you would have had to go too deep. All I'm going to do is try to get it to shine. Never going to get rid of the pitting on this. And you can see on the bolsters, and it says Barlow. So that's what we're going to do. Now I looked through my Barlow collection, and I already have a red-handled Barlow. So I'm thinking this. Now this is a premium vinyl from Cricket, and they actually call it, yeah, brace yourself, maize yellow. Kind of like the color. It's an unusual yellow, that's for sure. Looks almost orange. So I think I'm going to use that and put it on here, which I think is a pretty cool color. So, going to take the clamshells off. We'll clean this up and replace the skins. So I have my high-tech clamshell removing tool. Still got to replace the handle on. I keep saying that and never do. So what we have to do is, when you look at a clamshell, you can see there's no room to get in on the back. Can you see that? But on the front, you've got plenty of room to get in to get to that tab. Now this is nerve-wracking for me, because depending on how many times that's been opened or closed, depends on when it's going to break. And it might just be my turn. So we'll go pretty slowly. I'll start with this guy and see if I can hook onto the tab and just lift it very slowly. I am going to warm it up first. Oh, nice and warm. So let's see if we can hook one and actually bend it up slowly. Ugh. There we go. See, I don't want to bend that tab too much. There we go. Now I have it free there. It'll just slide towards us here, he says. Just like that. We didn't break any tabs. That's a plus. Pretty nasty underneath here, which means when they cleaned it originally they didn't take it apart, which is a good thing. Whew. Well, let's get this cleaned off and do the handles. So this is cleaned up a little bit. So now I'll just go through, clean it up, clean the well, blades, the springs and everything. And on these ones, before we put the covers on, I want to clean and shine the bolsters, because once you put the cover on, you don't want to be using heavy sandpaper and things like that around the covers. So we've got to do that first. Now we need to sharpen it.
So there you go. We have us another parlor. Not perfect. I mean, there's a lot of pitting on this. There was a lot. But when you clean it up and polish it, it doesn't look as bad because the parts that shine through. And of course we sharpened it. We're all good to go. It's ready to go and join the rest of the barlows. My collection groweth. Let's put it away.
kind of a mess and not really in order, are they? Daddy. Keen cutter. I love this one. It's a great Barlow. Look at that. And now we have a yellow. Electricians. Look at them all.
So there you go. Another quick restore. A Barlow. I haven't looked at my Barlows in a while. Glad I did. We got that one sorted out. And now I've got the rest to go through. I have got campers, electricians, and something else. And even some sacks. You all be safe out there, especially when you're dealing with these cutters and you clean them up and polish them and then you sharpen them. Be real careful. Just saying. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And if you want to join the membership, you know the little join button below, feel free to click on it, check it out, and see if it works for you. If not, not a problem. We'll see you next time. Like I said, I've got a bunch of projects going on. I've got a lot of videos to make. I've got members' videos. And you guys come first. The members, they get their videos when they do. And everybody's happy. Allegedly. Thanks for watching. Always appreciated. We'll see you again soon.